Well, everything is energy, right? So everything that moves upon the planet is energy. So positive and negative energies are pretty much the polar opposites, the opposite ends of what energy spectrums are. And I think when we look at energy in a positive format, it's something that tends to move us forward. And when energy is a negative format or a negative way of being, it's something that either holds us back or sends us backwards. So the difference between positive and negative energies in terms of how they apply to your life is whether or not they move you forward or they inhibit your forward momentum. The best way would be an example of positive and negative influences of people. That's one of the easiest ways that we can understand how positive and negative energies flow. And even though the conversation of energy is becoming more and more prevalent, and that's one of the areas that I work in, is understanding energy and the energetic fields and moving energy through various modalities and practices, everybody feels energy, whether they realize it or not. And the simplest way is if you walk into a room and you meet someone and you get this weird vibe. You know, we refer to it as, ooh, that person has kind of a weird vibe, or I didn't really feel very comfortable in that person's presence. And because we're all energy beings and we're extending energy out from us all the time, our energy fields carry positive and negative energy flows. And the opposite would be if you meet someone and you just immediately connect. You know, your energies are positive in flow, meaning that they're flowing together with one another and they're kind of feeding off one another and you're enjoying it. You feel like you've just known that person all the time and they've got a good vibe. You know, people would say it all the time. It's like, oh yeah, I like that person's energy, or I like that person's vibe, or their personality. And so those are just kind of simple examples of positive and negative energy flow. There are just some people that you're going to resonate with and some people that you're not, no matter how hard you try. It doesn't mean it's either good or bad, and that's when people kind of get caught up in, okay, positive means good and negative means bad. And it doesn't mean that. It's not a judgment as to whether or not someone has positive or negative energy. It's just kind of their state of being or where they are. And why is that, is the next question that people often ask. And why is that? Is because we're energetic beings and we carry energy and expend energy all around us at all times. It depends on a great deal of our emotional and mental state. So if we're a person that's filled with a lot of negative energy in our thoughts and our emotions, then it is universal law that that's the energy that we're going to be expressing out into the world. And people feel that. People outside of us. But for the people that really do that very well, carrying negative energy, they often will proceed in a way that you don't even just have to feel their energy, you can hear it, you can see it in their body, the way they carry themselves, the way they speak. Someone who speaks in a lot of negative connotations, a lot of negative self-talk, or even judgmental talk about others. And we know these people, right? And just the opposite of that are the people who have a great deal of positive mental mind flow. You know, they're the people that a lot of negative people hate. You know, they're the happy-go-lucky. They're the ones that really enjoy life. They're the ones that go, yeah, everything is really good. You know, things are flowing, and I can just kind of be happy in this moment. Now, you know, certainly there's people that try that suit on, and it covers up a lot of negative energy within them. They're working on the process of becoming more positive in their being. But again, someone who's who pays attention can tell the difference whether or not it's authentic, sincere, and in integrity to someone's being. You know when someone's just talking the talk versus actually walking the walk, and it shows up. And so the people that are positive exude this positive energy. And you know who those people are. They're the people that you're attracted to. They're the charismatic people, the people who are smiling, and the people that can hold the attention of a room oftentimes, you know, in a very positive way. People are drawn to energies, especially people who want to be more positive and or are living more positive. So it's very important to just understand that all energy is polarized. So the goal for us is to pay attention to how the energies get polarized. And no one person, I believe, even myself included, is positive all the time. We would be missing out on a big part of life if that was just the only being that we were trying to be, because life is about the dualities. But it's also about coming together with those dualities, honoring. Just like in a recent conversation in a workshop we did, where it's honoring the shadow side, which for many people would represent the negative side of being. But in order to learn from that, to understand that your shadow is not a bad thing, it's something that's a huge and wonderful teacher, oftentimes a protector for you in your life. But it can be a very positive experience when you embrace the negativity in your life and go, there's something here for me to understand, there's something for me to learn. And so when the two come together, there is a neutralizing effect, more or less. It is what the Buddha would call the coming into the center, into the middle room, where there is neither a polarity pull to one side or the other, but you're able to kind of be in the flow of both and just recognize it. And then comes the conversation of attachment and non-attachment to things that are positive versus negative, and what does it mean in your life, which could be a whole other conversation in itself. But yeah, I think it's understanding how energy flows and knowing that at any given time, energy is flowing in a positive or negative way. But it's how you really approach it, how you really look at it and are mindful about energies and the people around you, and let go of judgments around what it is, and look at what the lessons and what the learnings can be from it. And if not that, just simply the experience. Be that laughter and joy, or be that I just need a really good cry, to feel the flow of that energy. And it can transmute and change within quite easily, once you know how to ride the flows. So understanding the flow of positive and negative energies as they work within, especially this 3D reality, then gives us a better sense of what it is that is serving us and what it is that is not. And it brings up also the question of suffering. And so in our next topic, we'll talk about what is the cause of suffering? How does that work? And that's pretty much tied with attachments to outcomes, be they positive or negative.